and I'll give you a, okay.
So you've just seen me sow my seeds, and now I'm going to position them in a nice light position. So on a kitchen windowsill or in a greenhouse if you've got one. They don't want to be too hot, they just want a nice windowsill. And what you need to do is just, if you've got a propagator, that's a good idea. Just pop them into a seed tray like that and put a plastic lid over the top, and that will mean that you don't have to water them again probably until they've germinated. And if you haven't got one of those, you could put the tray or the pot into a plastic bag, or you could just make sure that the surface of the compost is kept nice and damp. So don't allow them to dry out. Keep them in a nice sunny position on a windowsill or in a glass house until they've germinated. Then take off your propagator lid, and you can move them into a little bit more light then. But what we don't want is, we don't want long straggly seedlings, so make sure they've got enough light. So keep the compost moist, check the heat and the light, and wait for your seeds to germinate, which will probably take, as a rough guide, around about 14 days. Some things will be quicker, some things will take a lot longer.
Any particular pests or diseases?
Oh, that might bother your seedlings?
Yep.
Keep them away from slugs and snails. And also, mice have been a real problem with mine. I've had mice going in, nibbling off my lettuce seedlings, so be really careful with those. And also, when you're watering them, also make sure that you use tap water rather than water from your rainbow, as this can contain, got me tongue twisted up, can contain pathogens and fungal bodies which will kill your seedlings. So be really careful about that. Just use nice clean water. Okay?
So if people have heard of damping off with their seedlings, what are you actually looking at?
Yeah, damping off is when you get whole groups of seedlings across the tray just collapsing and dying, and that's caused usually by fungal, either in the compost or in the water, not using clean seed trays. It can also be used by, it can also happen by not enough airflow and not enough ventilation. So plenty of ventilation and airflow, and don't overcrowd those seeds, because that can also help with preventing damping off.
Perfect.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to put those to one side.
This is true Blue Peter style, isn't it? Here's some we germinated earlier.
Now then, here's my seed tray, ready filled, and this seed tray I'm going to use for pricking out. And here is our pot with little seedlings in it. And now, we've got a dibber here, two types of dibber. What I use at home quite often is a kitchen fork, and they're really useful. Sometimes I even use the end of a plant label.
I sometimes use a pencil, to be honest.
Pencil, anything, yeah. So what we're going to do, it's very important that when we go to get our seedling out of our container, that we just hold it by its seed leaves here, and these are the cotyledons. If we hold it by its stem, there, we could crush the stem and damage it. But if we damage one of its little cotyledon leaves, it'll recover. So what we want to do is dig down underneath our seedling, and these are quite big seedlings, and I've got a really decent root. There we go.
Now, this is the point, Louise, where the students need to stop and take a photograph.
There, can you see that?
Yeah, so we need a photograph.
Can you see that on there? No, hang on a minute. Hang on. How's that?
Okay, that looks
Can
okay.
you see my little seedling there?
Yep.
It's got quite a long stem, and it's got a really good root system as well.
So you need a photograph of that.
Photograph
of that to show the seedling removed from the container before you do your
Right.
picking out. So get that
Okay.
photograph taken.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dibber and I'm going to make a hole in my pot, and I think here I could put 1, 2, 3, 4 across that way. And what I want to do is I actually want to sink this a bit further than the level it was in the pot before, and that just helps to get a nice strong seedling. We don't want to damage its roots. Be very careful popping its little roots in there. That's it, pop it down, still going down, 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 and then very carefully firm it in like that. Can you see that? That's our little seedling inserted. So do another one. There we go.
Do a row.
Do a row. Push the boat out. Okay, so same again. Here we go. Get it by its little cotyledons. Put your little scooper underneath there. We can see our seedling coming out. Here we go, very gently. In there. Sinking it in. Firming it in gently. Okay, I'm going to get another 2 across there. Make my little holes for them. Come back. Take those little seedlings out there. Very carefully, don't want to damage its roots. There we go. Let's get the thin end and push our little seedling in gently. Push him down. Consolidate. And another one coming out of here. I've got one that's out there already, I think. Is that one out? Very carefully. There, that one's out. There we go.
2.
I've got 2. Oh, I've got 2 there. Oh, well spotted. I haven't got my glasses on, Lynn. Right, we need to try and separate these 2 out now, which is probably going to be easier said than done. Can't see.
Only handling them by the seed.
There we go. That's it. This one has got a nice root system. Into there. There we go. And what I would do is I would just continue along here, spacing them out nicely, and that's giving each little seedling room to grow. I would then put this tray in to soak up some water, or I could water it from above with a fine rose.
But you would take a photograph of your sheet of the seedling nicely inserted in, and that's what you need a
There we
photograph.
go. Take a
of
picture.
actually
Hang
in
on.
the container.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another photograph.
So another photograph. So you've had a photograph of the seedling up, out, and then pricked out and into the container. So you should have 2 photographs for this.
2 photographs. One of your seedling, one of your seedling into your tray. Remember, handle it only by the seed leaves, cotyledons. Be careful not to damage the roots. Insert very carefully into here and consolidate. 4 steps to remember. And then give them a drink and watch your seedlings grow. Thank you.